Do you really want Lethal Weapon 5? Do you? Do you? Do you really want it? Do you want to do it? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I want Lethal Weapon 5. I want it. Let's do it. Let's really do it. Come on, let's do it. Let's do it. Hey folks, Kilt-Man here. Kilt-Man at your maniacal, semi-suicidal services. How are you all? We're all doing very, very well. And yes, Lethal Weapon 5 confirmed, and Gibbo, the mighty Gibbo, you may see him around here somewhere, lurking in the background, hardly camouflaged at all, is directing it. Yeah, okay, right. Let's discuss, shall we? Look, Lethal Weapon franchise is very successful, and they've been trying to get a 5th installment off the ground for many years. A few things happened which changed its trajectory. Richard Donner dies, of course. Richard Donner, the director, the fabulous director of The Omen and Superman. And after that, he didn't have to prove himself at all in anyone's eyes. He'd done enough. But no, a fabulous director. And he dies. And Gibson, the Mighty Mel, one of my favourite actors, one of my favourite directors as well, as it turns out. But a Hollywood pariah. We all know the reasons why, but I've stood by the guy. I think he's terrific. He's got a mouth on him. He shoots it off. Like Martin Riggs, you know, he shoots it off and then thinks afterwards, oh, should I have done that? But he's apologetic, and he's also painfully honest. Like him, love him, loathe him. Doesn't matter. We all love Lethal Weapon, don't we? Yes, we do. And without Martin Riggs, with Gibson portraying him, you have not got Lethal Weapon. Yeah, you got the TV show. Holy shit. Yeah. What garbage was that? And we know all the stuff that happened behind the scenes. I've talked about that in the past. That was a disaster waiting to happen. My son loved it. He loves the movies, but he loved that TV show. So hey, each to their own. I thought it was utter rank garbage. But it had its own style, I know. And you've got to do something different anyway. But let's get back on track, because they've been trying to get another installment off the ground for such a long time. Richard Donner wrote the entire story for what he wanted Lethal Weapon 5 to be. This was about 2015, 2016 maybe, and Warner Brothers were like, oh, they were dragging their heels. They wouldn't give it the green light. Oh, there was something about it which wasn't quite working. I've not been privy to read that story treatment, but I know it was a lot more serious. It was it didn't jettison the comedy and the magic, of our leading ensemble. Because it grew to be a big family, didn't it, of course. It expanded with each movie, which brought in more audience, you know, and also it dropped the violence down and considerably and made it just a more heartwarming sort of family drama, albeit with headshots and bad beatings and lots of F-bombs being dropped all the time. But it was a cosy sort of, oh, let's sit down and watch Lethal Weapon. Yeah, all the family together. Oh, how we laugh at. This guy was going to commit suicide. He's actually borderline psychotic. Yes, he's got PTSD. All sorts of things that every family needs. Yeah. I loved it, of course. It totally appealed to me. But the older version of these characters, Martin Riggs and Detective Murtaugh, you know, who, let's not forget, Murtaugh was retiring way back in 1987, which, given the timeline, should make him like 183 by now, which is ridiculous, I tell you. But the chemistry was there, the magic was there, the set pieces, hair-triggered excitement, emotion, everything was there. It turned more to comedy from Lethal Weapon 2 onwards. They tried to go a bit more serious with Lethal Weapon 4 with Jet Li and all that. A bit more violence again. But I think a mistake that they made with the original franchise, in my eyes, it wasn't borne out by the box office, but they're all rip-roaring successes. But the first one chronicled someone on the edge, on the ragged edge, you know, who's suicidal and taking absolute devil-may-care risks. The second one took on apartheid. Yeah, so racial tensions were in there. The third one brought in drug gangs and, again, LA racial tensions and the gangs, the gang culture. The fourth one took on Chinese immigrants and kind of championed them. Boy, are you regretting that now. Let's be honest, America is swamped with Chinese immigrants. Sorry, what? Stop being political, Kilt-Man. Sorry. But I can't help it because they did change the original sort of dynamic of Lethal Weapon, the first movie. And they took on cultural and relevant news items, big agendas, big issues of the time. Now, I wasn't a fan of that at all. I wanted action, adventure, sharp-edged thrillers. Keep the comedy to a minimum, but they lost the balance. Now, I've just said before, Richard Donner could have stopped at doing Superman. That was it, as far as I'm concerned. The Omen and Superman, perfection. And Lethal Weapon was, again, another great catalyst, especially in my life. I'll talk about more of this as we go on. But to bring in these bigger issues and then wrap your story around that was kind of a bit silly. I'm not a fan of Shane Black. In my eyes, he's Shane Hack. But he did write a great story for the first Lethal Weapon, which revitalizes, reconfigures the cop movie, the buddy movie. You'd had 48 Hours. You'd had Dirty Harry had several different partners throughout his tenure. But to do this, a suicidal cop, a cop on retirement age, a family man, thrust together with a huge, mercenaries and a drug cartel, uber violent, will stop at nothing to keep their merchandise alive and all that, and their trade going. It was quite staggeringly in your face about things, but the characters were what made it. Martin Riggs was someone which we all loved, and yet there was a side to him which I don't want to be that guy. But there's reasons why I really felt a very close affinity to that character. And by the way, I've reviewed Lethal Weapon and I've discussed this character many times on the channel, so I will be raking over some old stuff, but it's relevant though. And then you get Lethal Weapon 2, you take in the apartheid situation, and you bring in Patsy Kensit, and oh dear God, with their scrambled egg nipples, oh dear. Not scrambled egg, fried egg. Sorry Patsy, that was a bit horrible. They weren't that lumpy. Fried egg nipples, let's leave it at that. And Derek O'Connor, he was a great actor, but he playing a South African they committed a very bad cardinal sin by explaining that he was the guy that killed Martin Riggs' wife. She dies in a car accident. It's the unpredictability of that which makes Martin Riggs, a hair trigger, volatile Vietnam veteran. He's US Marine Recon in the novel. From the original script treatment, he's US Marines Recon, but in the movie, Roger, that's a Special Forces tattoo. He's not meant to be Special Forces. Sorry, US Marine Recons do view yourselves as Special Forces. I know that, but the entire US Marines, the entire Corps viewed themselves as Special Forces as well. You don't come under that banner. I know. I'm Royal Marines, and we view ourselves in the same exact way. But we don't come under that banner either. Well, not all of us anyway. But it was a catalyst. It was like like the fuse, because you didn't expect the amount of hair trigger excitement set pieces which ensued, helicopter assaults, the nightclub shootout, a bit of torture with Al Young, the great Al Young, Asian stuntman, stunt coordinator, actor, extra, brilliant as Endo. And you've got Gary Busey's Mr. Joshua. You know, oh god, it's a fantastic movie. It is lightning in a bottle, but then you bring in the issues in the other movies. The third one, I cannot stand. I can't watch it. I just, Travis, I can't watch it. That to me is the son of a bitch. Riggs, son of a bitch, son of a bitch. That's all the dialogue boils down to. Shane Black, again, you know, he's to blame for all this because the first movie has lots of impromptu dialogue, but he wrote enough of that dialogue. You've seen his other movies, Last Boy Scout, Long Kiss Goodbye, what's that one with Russell Crowe, Ryan Gosling, The Nice Guys, whatever the hell it's called. Yeah, he specialises in double acts, macho buddy scenarios, but the dialogue is what was great initially became too much, utterly too much, and Shane Black just suddenly, I'm the best at this. No, you're definitely not. But Richard Donner takes some blame as well because Richard Donner allowed a lot of improv because he just loved Danny Glover, Mel Gibson, and then Joe Pesci comes into it. Rennie Russo comes into it. You just let rip. Just do your own thing. You know what the script says, but you can say your own thing. But they're so used to saying "son of a bitch" in every other fucking line. And Danny Glover shouting Riggs, son of a bitch, Riggs. Lethal Weapon 3 is beyond belief for that. You play the drinking game, watch Lethal Weapon 3. My God, that bottle would have been gone in less time than this video's been running for right now with the son of a bitch and Riggsness. Cheers, y'all. But they're all enjoyable because they're such great charismatic characters. Gibbo is excellent, he owns the role. Danny Glover should be in a box. The character Roger Murtaugh should be in a box by now. The family dynamic of them. Joe Pesci was great, you know, Leo gets, you know, because whatever you want, whatever you need, Leo gets. Do you get it? Oh. And it's a nice antidote to watching him in the likes of Goodfellas and especially Casino, where he's an absolute twat, of course. So watch Leo gets, and in the do not go to the Stills house. Don't go to Stills house. The Stills house, Lethal Weapon 2, where they've cut. The South Africans have caught him and they beat him up and he's there and he's sort of crying to himself and you think, oh no, but then you remember what he does in Goodfellas and in Casino and that, and you go, no, you deserve it, you bastard. So anyway, oh yeah, they bring in Jet Li and you get some extra fight scenes. Gibbo, Martin Riggs has his hair cut. He's a sensible man now because Rennie Russo, his amour, his new amour, they're pregnant, but even when he fights Jet Li, who's older then, is kicking ass, bringing his brand of martial arts to Hollywood, kicking all sorts of ass, and even like Gibbo has to be, I'm too old for this shit as well, you know. But she is. Now he was too old for that shit then. What the hell is he now? Because when was that? Was that 1997, 1998 maybe? And we're in 2024. They're going to start making this movie very soon. But it won't be out until next year. And they're going to have to run through summertime and maybe into, I don't know, autumn, the fall for you guys out there. I don't know. Look. Let's think about this. Richard Donner wrote a story which was a lot more serious and was obviously focusing on the fact that these guys are older now. Fine. Warners didn't initially like the idea. They may have liked little bits of it, the concept of it, but no, we want just the fun. We want the fun back. Well, they're too old for that shit now. God, I've just come up with it again. You can't leave that line alone, can you? because it's so relevant to this coming out. And of course, Richard Donner dies. 2021, he died at the age of 92. Wow. But he was up for doing it. I'm going to do it. But he said to Mel Gibson, look, if I kick the bucket, will you take over? Mel Gibson, Oscar-winning director. Some great movies. In fact, every movie he's directed has been absolutely outstanding. Need I say what they are? I don't need to, do I? Hacksaw Ridge, Braveheart, Man Without a Face, Apocalypto, Passion of the Christ, the nastiest film the world has ever known. A religious video nasty. Really, that isn't quite not simpatico, but there you go. So this guy says, look, if I kick the bucket, I want you to take over. Now this was a few years ago, and Gibson went, yeah, of course I will. Never think it would happen. And then of course it happens. And the whole thing, Lethal Weapon 5, nosedives. No one's going to take it on board. Look, you guys are old now. And I'll be honest, Danny Glover, I mentioned this only last year, and Danny Glover had a few health scares and was not looking too good. Now, let's go for the ages. Gibbo is 68. Okay, that's nothing. Nothing. Glover is 77, but not looking too good on it. Sorry, Danny, but just the way it is. Rene Russo is 70. Chris Rock, well, Darlene Love, who is Danny Glover's wife, she's 82. 82. Tracy Wolf, Rianne, Rianne, get in the fucking car! Rianne, get in the fucking car! Yeah, that's a real nice young daughter you got there, Mr. Murto. I'm warning you, don't. Go spit, you motherfucker, go spit. She's 64 now. Joe Pesci's 81. 81. Steve Kahn. Now, Steve Kahn plays the captain, their LAPD department. Their long-suffering captain. Who loves him? Steve Kahn is a dead ringer for Richard Donner as well. I've always said that. I've always maintained that. It's like watching for a long time. I actually thought that was Richard Donner. Before I actually did some checking behind the scenes, and it's like, well, this guy's 85. You're gonna bring all them back? Well, you won't be able to, I'm sure. It'd be great if you did, but is Joe Pesci working these days? Is Steve Kahn working these days? Is Tracy Wolf working these days? I don't know. Do you need them? Not necessarily, I suppose. Soundtrack-wise, listen. Eric Clapton and the great Michael Kamen. Michael Kamen died, I didn't write down when, but he died a few years ago. And he scored all the first for Lethal Weapon movies. Eric Clapton, who is now 79, a rock god, uber guitarist, worked on all the first 4 Lethal Weapons. He supplied songs. He also co-wrote some of the scoring with Michael Kamen. He's 79 now. Is he going to be brought back? I'd like to think so, because that sort of rock, urban, the guitar, stringing. Sorry, someone just slammed our front door, which distracted me. Really singing out there and like wailing, and the jazzy, bluesy quality, the saxophone and all that. Are you going to bring that back? Because that is the signature tune. That's the musical theme to Lethal Weapon. It's bluesy, it's laconic, it's jazzy infused. And you have this as well from Honeymoon Suite. I love this song, by the way. I love this song. It's the main theme, but with vocals. But I urge you, if you have any respect for Lethal Weapon and its music, do not watch their video. You're going to now, I know you are. You're going to go Honeymoon Suite, Lethal Weapon on YouTube. This thing you're on right now. And, oh dear God, it is every 80s pop video worstness. It's the absolute nadir. All the crap of what those pop videos were. Uber posturing. Horrible, horrible visual stylings. It's awful. But I love the song. Always have done. So, where are you going to go with this then? I'll read you what Gibbo has said about it. I'll turn that down a little bit. Now, we knew he was going to direct it if it was going to come out, if it was actually going to be done. But we've been waiting for the green light to finally go blink on. And of course, you know, with 15 ciggies in his gob at once, like John Carpenter as well, he's gone like, I'm going to direct the 5th film in the Lethal Weapon series. Richard Donner, who did the other 4, sadly passed away, and he was a good guy. And he kind of tasked me with carrying the flag home on that one. So it would be an honour for me to do that. He had gotten a fair way into writing the screenplay. Now we've used what was there. We kept kind of poking at it, working it, and I'm pretty happy with it. It's good. I had a lot of fun doing it. Teasing how both comedy and drama will be explored in the next film, Gibson added, it's funny. It's also pretty serious too. It tackles a couple of hard issues, so I'm looking forward to it. It tackles a couple of hard issues too. Oh, fucking hell. So there we go. It's gonna tackle issues today. What? Transgender? The war in Ukraine? What's happening in Gaza? Is it that? Gibbo, you got tagged as anti-Semitic. Be careful, boy. Be careful. I know, and a Holocaust denier. You will, if you're going to bring that in, then you really, really need to watch yourself. And in fact, if he does bring that sort of stuff in, it won't come out. It will not come out. I guarantee it. That will not be shelved again. But I don't think he's going to do that. Ain't that fucking stupid? Let's have a look again. Oh, sorry, it says there, Donner passed away at the age of 91. I think I said he was 92. 91, sorry. This is Gibson again. The man who directed all the Lethal Weapon films, Richard Donner. He was a big guy. I'm giving him the wrong voice altogether. He was developing the screenplay and he got pretty far along with it. And he said to me one day, listen kid, if I kick the bucket, you will do it. And I said, shut up. But he did indeed pass away. But he did ask me to do it. And at the time, I didn't say anything. But he obviously has now. Well, that's it. That's all of the feature I've been looking at. Sorry about that. But you've got Bad Boys Ride or Die is actually really doing well at the box office. You've got Axel Foley, you know, the next Beverly Hills Cop movie is coming out. People are really clamouring for that. Could work. Eddie Murphy, you know, never rule him out. And the Beverly Hills Cop movies are terrific, and they're bringing some of the old cast back as well, so that can work out. And Eddie Murphy doesn't age. That's the thing. He does not age. Danny Glover and the Mighty Mel have aged. How Mel aged so drastically once he stopped doing Mad Max movies, went out to the States, and went back. Don't forget, Mel Gibson is not Australian. He's born in Peekskills, New York. And at the age of 12, his family moved out to Australia to avoid the draft for Vietnam. And then, hey, what happened? Australia drafted people to Vietnam as well. So, oh dear God, he didn't go. But Gibbo, pretty boy, often an icon, a posted image and all that. Like all of the magazines had him on the cover and all that. He was the meat of the day. And then, well, obviously, hard drinking and hard biftering. Bifters is that's a British have a ciggy. Bifter. It doesn't mean what you may have thought it meant. Although Gibson is a very prolific son of a bitch. Son of a bitch, Riggs, son of a bitch. He did the dirty on his wife Robin, nurse Robin, and they had about 10 kids already, something like that. And then he, of course, went off and I think he went crazy in America. I think when his return trip to America, movie after movie after movie, and working with bigger names and bigger directors, and then wanting to do his own directing, which of course he did with great success, and also trying to expose what the darker elements of Hollywood really were, which he's really still working hard at doing. He makes an absolute pariah of himself, and you can see it on his face. You know, he hides the crags, well, some of the crags, with a mighty beard, but he's grey, and he's a wrecked ruin of a guy, and he looks that way. The Martin Riggs character goes from he's meant to be on the ragged edge at the start, lost his wife. We then learn in Lethal Weapon 2, badly, that it's Derek O'Connor that's, you know, drove her car right off the cliff. You know, when I pulled back this matted mop of blonde hair, it wasn't you, it was your wife, right? That's bollocks. That really ruined the whole mythology of Martin Riggs for me. That ruined it. Just keep it simple as it was just a car crash, which he can't get his head around. But no, you had to bring this bad guy in. You know, it was just, and he was shit as a bad guy as well. You know, and the big martial arts fight they have in the container ship, Lethal Weapon 2, fuck off. Like, that's Derek O'Connor doing any of that shit. Really, you know, awful. I do like Gibson's face there when he hits he sees the swinging, there's a big container up, perched precariously above Derek O'Connor's head, and Derek O'Connor's got a gun on him like that, and Gibbo's been battered. He's got a knife in his leg as well, and he's been battered, and he sees the swinging control thing to release the container, and he just goes, with Cayman's music, he just goes, like that. Pure Charlie Chaplin, which he based Martin Riggs' character on Charlie Chaplin, whose characters were often between life and death. They lived life on the edge. But you watch Chaplin's movies, the devil may care sense of humour, because life doesn't matter. From one second to the next, it doesn't matter. If I live or I die, I'm going to have fun while I'm still here. It's that wildfire, precarious, reckless nature which Gibson took from Chaplin to imbue into Martin Riggs. And the way he just goes like, and he sees this thing, and then like, it's a bad optical effect, like, but where this thing lands on him. But anyway, that was a good point in it. Patsy Kensit was not a good point. Joss Ackland as the leader of this South African bunch of bastards, and like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. And Gibbo shoots out the aquarium, and all these, you know, vastly rare tropical fish tumble over the floor, and all sputtering and gasping, and like Joss Ackland's going like, pick them up with your hands, and they'll go, fucking fish are flying everywhere. But the Seeds of Doom was set with Lethal Weapon 2. For me, I struggle to watch Lethal Weapon 2. I can't watch Lethal Weapon 3 at all. Can't watch it at all. And I can't remember the last time I watched Lethal Weapon 4. Although I do remember the laughing gas sequence, which was hysterical. Yeah. But the first one is perfect. It gets the measure of comedy, reluctant camaraderie, genuine angst and fear and tension and suspense, great excitement, and just characters that you lock onto. It was on the other night on terrestrial UK TV, and I stumbled onto it. I didn't know it was even going to be on, and I just flicked, and like, oh my god, it's Lethal Weapon, a film I used to watch all the time when I was a kid, obviously, and I watched it again for the first time in a while before this news broke. But I knew they were working on this so often. There's always been news snippets, so you knew this was going to happen regardless. At some point, you were going to get Lethal Weapon 5. It was going to happen. But it wasn't in the news at that particular time. And then the film come on, so I watched it and thought, oh, great, it's Lethal Weapon. Haven't seen it for ages. And you know what? It pissed me off. Yeah, even the first one. Again, it's the damn dialogue. It's fucking awful. It's genuine. When Murto takes Riggs home to meet the family, oh, it's cringeworthy. You know, when the hooker's place gets blown up and they're there with the kids and on the fire truck and all that, like, hey, this is Alfred. Alfred, say hi. Everyone say hi to Alfred. You know, don't say my name, Alfred. You know the bit I mean. It's, oh God, it's cringeworthy. There's some great dialogue in there, but there's also so many naff elements where Donna's just gone, oh, just go with it. Just be in the scene and just be your character. But it's given them too much free reign, and that free reign has then bled into the characterization of the next 3 movies, where it's all gone way too, just, you're saying too much, you're repeating yourself all the time, and just tighten it up, sharpen it. Just because you're having a great time there, because Donna and all these guys, all the cast and crew, but I've been doing this for years, and we're loving their camaraderie and all that. I get that, but you've got to watch it as an audience and then watch it back. Don't go thinking that someone sat there and wrote, son of a bitch, Riggs, son of a bitch, all the time. Because you couldn't sit there and write that. You'd be like, oh, I think I've said that a bit too much there. Yeah. The fucking machine you're writing it on would be going like, oh, come on now. There'd be steam coming out of it. You know. Come on, give it a rest, you son of a bitch. I've said Riggs too much now. But they're still immensely popular. So, Donna's treatment of Part 5 was going to be serious. That's clearly been changed. Gibson alluded to it. It's got serious issues. It's got things going on. But you know, we're going to keep the fun side to it as well. But now, I'll be honest. I want this. I do. I want to see Gibson in a big movie again, and this will be a big movie. He's done a lot of movies since he got sort of blackballed in Hollywood, but they've all been independents, low budget independents. But he shone in every single one of them, because he is a damn good actor. But it's horrible to see that he has been sort of shunted to the sidelines a bit, and having to do these sort of grungy sort of roles, not playing a leading man anymore, you know, but lending gravitas to whatever he gets involved in. But this is his first chance to again, you know, reignite the flame as Martin Riggs, one of his most defining characters. Mad Max, of course, is his most defining character, but Martin Riggs is the most American popularized character, which he kept on returning to, where you won't see him again as Mad Max, which I massively would love to happen again, but it ain't gonna happen. It just won't happen, sadly. Cheers, y'all. So this could be his welcome back to Hollywood, but also it could be his final nail in the coffin. If you bring in Israel and the Palestinian plight, which I wouldn't put it past him, but it'd be suicide. Literally, you know, Martin Riggs would be committing suicide. But I think personally, I want to see a serious film. Maybe Danny Glover's character is not so well. How could he possibly be? Maybe he's lost his wife. We don't have Tracy Wolf anymore. She's gone off to a different part of America. You haven't got oh Christ, is it Chris Rock or Chris Tucker? I always get it messed up. But Chris, whoever it is, don't have him back. Joe Pesci could be on his deathbed. You the character Leo gets, and you want the pathos of what's gone before, the legacy, the memories of all the adventures they've had. And like, how come you didn't retire when you had the first chance? And like we're still working together. They can't be cops now. They've got to be just friends. They've retired. Both must have retired by now. Gotta be. But they get brought into something. Is it something from the past? Is it something that which we didn't know about? Maybe Mr. Joshua didn't die. But they dredge something up from the past, or just something that one of them gets involved in, and like, it's got to be serious though. It's got to be genuinely upsetting, I think, and a bit like Clint Eastwood with Gran Turismo. Play it low key. With these guys now, if you have big action scenes, you're talking fucking Dial of Destiny shite. Let's not do that. Let's not do any de-aging. Let's not do any of that crap whatsoever. Dial of Destiny was an exercise in what not to do. So now you know, like, well, ignore that. Yeah, won't be doing any of that shit there. So don't have big showboating martial arts scenes. I'm not saying that Martin Riggs wouldn't be able to do it. Jackie Chan can still do it, of course. But you've got to make it believable. And I'd like a darker plot. Keep the humour to a minimum between certain characters. Don't make it slapstick anymore. Maybe make, sort of reference to the way you used to be, slapping people's faces, poking them in the eye and all that kind of stuff. Three Stooges shtick. But keep it really real. Like Michael Caine with Harry Brown. There was a real, that's one of the most perfect exercises and examples in how to make an older guy who was previously an action superstar. Well, Michael Caine, could you call him that? Plenty of action movies, plenty of thrillers and stuff, but he still played someone that, even a retired guy, a pensioner, but he could still kick ass, and you believed it as well. Make that the persona of Martin Riggs now. Oh, I've done all this in the past, but I still know some stuff, but I've now got to use my wits to outwit you, without resorting to this. And let's be honest, Danny Glover couldn't do the stunts in the first movie. Danny Glover's he's like a daddy long legs. His arms are about 40 foot long. You watch him trying to run, and he's literally doing that with his arms, propelling himself across the sidewalk and onto the roads. He can't do action. Danny Glover can't do action. Yes, Predator 2, I know. A fucking rarity in his oeuvre there, to be honest. And I still didn't buy his action scenes in that either, to be honest with you. Cheers, y'all. Cheers, Danny. So what's the plot going to be? How are they going to be brought back in? That's really important. And keep it dark. The first film started off with a dark psychology of your main character. Then he gets redemption. He meets people, loves people, finds love again, finds family, finds commitment, finds a reason to live. Goes on, meets a girl who's the female version of him, and she gets pregnant. So obviously we've got a child there. He learns to love bad guys, as in Leo gets as well. So you've gone through that arc. What is the end thing? You know exactly what the audience wants. The mass audience wants, we want the magic back, that fucking magic. We're back, we're bad, you're black, I'm mad. That was the worst fucking tagline ever. Worst ever. Lethal Weapon 2. We're back, we're bad, you're black, which we've known right from the word go. I'm sure you know you're black. And I am mad. Reminding people, this is the mix match buddy act. Black man, white man. Nice conservative. Redneck fucking wild dude. Fucking stupid. And yet people bought into it. So they know audiences are going to want that coming back. Even this new generation, they've seen these movies. They know what it is. They've seen the TV show with Damon Wayans and the guy with the silly tash playing Martin Riggs. You knobhead. They've seen all that, maybe, or know of it. So they know what's coming. And I expect wisecracks all the time. And like, shoot 'em ups and running about in car chases. These guys are fucking pensioners. They're not going to be doing that kind of shit. If they do, it will not be believable, and it'll be laughed at of cinemas and multiplexes. All the crowd that go in wanting that are going to see these two crusty old fuckers and go like, get out of here, you son of a bitch, you know. And they will not be going back and putting their bums on cinema seats for any more future showings. And the film will become a travesty. Again, you've got this whole thing about like older franchises being brought back again. They can't leave alone. Hollywood cannot leave alone. But I'll give a lot of credence to this one because they always did want to do another one. Personally, I loved Lethal Weapon 2 coming out, and then I was disappointed with it. In the UK, it was cut down quite a bit. Gibbo slamming the car door and the guy's head, bang, 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 was cut down to just one bang. But I got the uncut version straight away. But I'd seen it at the cinema and I'd seen the cut down version, and I just wasn't blown away by it as I was by the first movie. And then I was with Mrs. Kilt-Man at that stage with Weapon 2, and then Weapon 3 came out, and she was the one like, oh, we've got to go and see this because you love this, don't you? You love Weapon, Martin Riggs and all that. And I saw it and I fucking hated it. I genuinely hated it. Because Stuart, what's his name, who plays Travis, with his stupid laugh, and like, it was just garbage. What? Stop that shit. What? Where's this door go? What? To the LA subway? LA has a subway? Well, where have you been, man? It was stupid. As if he fucking lives there and he didn't. Oh, shut up. Just like, oh, by the way, to the rest of the world, LA now has a subway. Yeah, so tourists. Oh, by the way, lots of shooting and drug gangs and all that. Yeah, great. Street gangs, trouble, violence everywhere. Fucking ridiculous. LA, you're all over the fucking show. I've been there and I hated it. I utterly hated LA. It's one of the worst places I've ever been to in my life. No offense, but hey, it is what it is. What's that song? LA is just a great big car park. It fucking is. It fucking is. And your vegetation and your trees, they're parched as fuck. It's a horrible, horrible place. Your bars are shite. It's dusty, hot, and fucking horrible. You're all posy asses. And then you've got like all the dross on the streets as well. Oh yeah. Way to go, Kilt-Man. Just alienate some of your audience there who live in LA. Coming soon, no? For the premiere of Lethal Weapon 5. No. You know what I'm like. I hope. No, I don't like LA at all. San Diego's a different kettle of fish. San Diego is lovely. But anyway, so Lethal Weapon 5. It's not. You won't get this until the back end of 2025, probably. They've got to, get the script ironed out and start filming it. Who's your villains? Who's your cast? Who's whatever? Are we doing stunts in it? Is it gonna be just a talky, waffly thing, like this video? What's it gonna be? I don't want to see these two old duffers running down streets and leaping over the bonnets of cars, Starsky and Hutch style. I want gunplay, I want violence, but I want it to be a bit more serious. I want them to close out on a serious note. Keep the fun and the games and the chemistry. Keep that in character, but don't blow it out of proportion like they've done from part 2 onwards. And just cut the dialogue down. overlapping dialogue works and is great, and it's in so many movies where it's genuinely fantastic and believable. It wasn't in any Lethal Weapon movie, because it's all waffle. Some of it's rigs, blah blah blah, talking over each other, and then the line comes in, a bit of a killer line comes in, but then it gets submerged again by a load of other dross dialogue. When the first movie came out, I was a member of a gun club in the UK, the Phoenix Shooters Association, with my father, big kilt papa, and I had a 9mm Beretta, the sidearm of choice of Martin Riggs. 50 in the pipe, 50 in the mag, 1 in the pipe, and all that. Like, no feed jams. Yeah, and it's a wonderful weapon. I loved it. We don't have weapons in the UK anymore. Not guns, anyway. But I loved it. I had a Magnum 357 Smith & Wesson Magnum, which I wasn't that good with, I'll be honest. The 6-shooter, a lot of old timers carry those. The 6-shooter, I could be really good for a few minutes, and then be really shit on the next rounds going up. So I was pretty bad at doing it. I'm not consistent. However, the Beretta, which is it's sexy, but it's kind of chunky as well. And at the time, it was the issue weapon of most American police departments. That's been replaced now massively. It's all Glocks now in America. It's all Glocks, Glock 22, and some Berettas are used as well. But I loved it, and I was much better with that, because there was no. I didn't get any recoil. You watch Mel Gibson on a firing range where he puts the smiley gob on the target, and like every single shot is every single shot. He's doing that because he's anticipating the shot. I presume that they were firing real rounds at that target. Don't know, but may have been cameras down here, shielded, and he's firing real rounds, and that's why he's going. He's terrified, and he's doing that. Because the Beretta does not kick back like that. It just doesn't. It's nice and smooth. So anyway, at the time when that film came out, he's got a 9mm Beretta, and I was like, I've got one of those. And I had long hair at the time. Hey, he's got long hair as well, and he is Mad Max. And of course, I knew Mel Gibson from the Mad Max movies, so I was like, wow, couldn't wait for this. And I knew all the advanced blur about it. I was like, wow, this is going to be fucking great. I saw it day one in the UK release. Day one. I saw it twice, day one. And my God, it blew me away. But it moved me on a really profound level as well, because as many people who know me will testify, knew me at that time, I was a fucking nutter. Running up cranes, leaping into the Mersey, leaping into the docks, getting into fights and all sorts of shit. I was a wild twat. I saw myself as the good guy, but if I saw something going on I didn't like, you're picking on that, I'd get involved, and I'd be like, wow, and I'd done martial arts. I did a lot of martial arts afterwards. After the Marines, I did a lot of extensive martial arts, but at that time I had done a fair bit of stuff, but not to any real prodigious degree. But I thought I knew my stuff, and I was fucking wiry and lean and all that. So I've been doing weights for a long time, and I was kind of big and stocky. But I'd come down from that, and like, you lose weight. The growth hormone, if you pile it on super quick, you will lose it super quick as well. And by the time this film came out, I was like, I was still like nice and lean and muscly, but I wasn't hulking brute with no neck. But I'd get into a lot of scrapes, and in Martin Riggs I saw You're My Man. Also, I'd gone through a really bad split up with a lady who was a bit older than me, but my heart was, and I was put it in a dark place, making me do even more worse things. And then this film came out, and I thought, how could I not associate with Martin Riggs? Okay, but I've got the hair already, I've got his gun, for fuck's sake, and I've gone through heartbreak, grief, and I'm a mad twat. And I love the word son of a bitch, you know. So yeah, I was massively smitten with this guy and the whole mythology around him. But it didn't work out the way the films went on. I began to like distance myself, and I thought, well, obviously I got married as well. And gun laws changed in the UK, and we had to surrender our weapons and get them deactivated. Wasn't that great? And I had several. I had a cut down M16 as well, and I have fired the Heckler & Koch PSG-1 sniper rifle, 7.62 sniper rifle. Still reputed to be one of the best, most accurate, high velocity sniper rifles, which can propel a 7.62 bullet seemingly fucking forever with deadly accuracy. I've fired that, and of course in the film he uses that in the desert assault thing where he's trying to rescue Rianne in the first movie, and he's there with a bipod taking out the Mercs, Gary Busey's mob. Look closely and you see Arnie's busy mate Sven Ole Thorsen in that sequence as well. He's one of the goons there, and a lot of Uzis and other stuff. Heckler & Koch MP5s. Actually, they're not MP5s. They're modified MP K57s, I think they are, or A7s, and they've modified them to look like MP5s, which was the cool gun to have at the time in movies. Look at Die Hard, which came up similar sort of time. So this is the exciting, you know, road chase, nightclub shootout from the first Lethal Weapon. But what I just said there, that's why I love this character so much, and he immediately made an impact on me. And everyone that knew me was going like, watching the film, they're going like, I've just seen Lethal Weapon, and at the point, and I'm going like, yeah, I was like, yeah, that's me. Yeah, what, you're suicidal? Well, not so much like that, but yeah, when you're a teen and you lose the love of your life, yeah, pretty much. Oh, that scene when he goes like, look, I even got a special one for the occasion with a hollow point. Look at that, you know. That's not a hollow point round. He's showing just a normal round. But the point is, when I do it, it blows the back of my goddamn head out. Do the job right, you know. It's a terrifying sequence. That Gibson has that ability to imbue pure manic, self-destructive psychosis into. He can do it from sentence to sentence. He can go from like being mild-mannered to being crazy chaotic. Look at The Bounty with Anthony Hopkins playing Captain Bligh. I've reviewed that movie as well, where he plays Fletcher Christian. Wow, everyone talks about Anthony Hopkins' performances, which is magnificent, but the younger Gibson gives a really sort of split persona, psychotic, I don't know, OTT, wild card performance with pure, you know, psychosis. I'm trying to find the word for it and I can't think what it is. The mental condition. Oh no, it's not psychosis. Schizophrenia. It's schizophrenia. That's how he plays Fletcher Christian, and he does it exceptionally well. And the actual mutiny, he's calm one moment and he's like dead understanding of Captain Bligh, and Captain Bligh suddenly pisses him off again and he's like, I am in hell, sir, and flies a flintlock in the air like get him in the boat, why are you being so damn reasonable now, you know. Gibbo could do that stuff. I think that's what Hollywood loved about him. He could do that. But why can you do that? Oh, it's just acting, lovey. It's just acting. No. In some people's cases, they've got those demons in the backpack, and like they can unleash them when they need to. But people around will, hang on a minute, no, he did that really real. That's frightening. So, and we know that Gibbo's got a lot of demons for real. So he's perfect for Martin Riggs, isn't he? Perfect. This was meant to be a brief video, just saying like, oh, they greenlit Lethal Weapon 5. And me going, yay! And also, ooh, well, yeah, cut out the Riggs, and son of a bitch. Maybe have Danny Glover in a wheelchair. Do it. For fuck's sake, don't have Danny Glover doing any stunts. Don't do it. You can do him having his like decaffeinated. You know, you can have him doing that stuff. You can have that. But don't have him fighting anyone. Don't have him running. Don't do it. He couldn't do it in 87. He can't do it now. When he's, how old is he now? Well, I was going to say, when he is 87, he's not. He's 77. I should be made up. No, I'm getting older. These older guys are still coming back and doing these action movies. And I feel this. It's a shot in the arm for us older blokes. And let's be honest, you know, the younger movies now, they're shit. Actually, they're fucking shit. It's all CG. It's crap. It's crap. Older guy, Keanu Reeves, John Wick, Keanu Reeves. There's a guy that can do all the gun stuff, the ballistics, expertly, for real. Do the martial arts, for real. Roll around, leap off buildings, go over car bonnets, for real. Okay, there is stuntmen involved, but he does a hell of a lot of it. And then there's Tom Cruise, again, an older guy now. Doesn't look it though, does he? That bastard. He's made a pact with the devil, hasn't he, him? Keep his teeth super shiny. He's got Jürgen Klopp's teeth in his gob. Super shiny white teeth, and that grin just goes on and on. Be great as a Joker, wouldn't he? He's played a bad guy before. Look at what was it now? Oh, what was it? One where he plays the hitman. I forgot what it's called now. And he's great with Jamie Foxx, and but he's genuine, and they made him look older in that with grey hair and all that. But the nightclub scene and the assassinations, and he's a right bastard in it. I forgot what it's called now. I've got to do my head in that. But yeah, Tom Cruise is a great older guy doing all the stuff. But that's he can't back out of things now. Every movie he makes now, his Mission Impossible especially, it's got to be topped. Each one he makes, the next one, that made money. Oh shit, gotta do another one. And what a dickhead, you know, he made Mission Impossible 7 Part 1, Dead Reckoning, and then he's got to do Part 2, which of course they're doing. And so every stunt you saw in that movie has got to be topped again in the next movie. I've worked with numerous people that have done, well, various activities around the world in the military and espionage capability, and you know, no one can do that sort of thing all the time. No organisation would allow you to do that. Look, you jumped off trains, leapt off helicopters, yeah, you fell down a mountainside. Look, no, we don't think you're up to this next mission. That's how it would work. You are damaged because you would have a lot of broken bones, bruises, psychological injuries as well. You'd be scarred to fucking back. You know, there's no way in there you could do each of these. Like James Bond, again, another one, James Bond, but James Bond's kind of, well, that's hyper unreal anyway, but we love it though, don't we? Daniel Craig's incarnation did a lot of the stuff, like, but it was grungy, dirty, down and nasty. But again, it's unrealistic because you would not get the next mission. You just couldn't. You've got to rest and recuperate, and I don't know where I'm going with this. I think it's because it's Lethal Weapon, and it's such a huge part of those years. Your teenage years are massive. The films for me, of course, were Mad Max and Escape from New York. Pliskin is my favourite character of all time. Mad Max, it is very, very much up there, but I can't drive, and Mad Max is dependent on driving vehicles in the wasteland. So I can never be him, but I love the character. Rambo, obviously. And yeah, I'm massively associated with Rambo. Arnie, Conan, Dutch from Predator, and John Matrix. Yeah, I love these guys. These guys are absolute uber heroes. But Martin Riggs came at a time, a pivotal time, when I was like later teens, and I had a big new career burgeoning. I'd also just lost a big romance, so it hit me at such a pivotal time, an epochal time for me. Everything about that character worked, and I saw myself in that guy, rightly or wrongly, probably wrongly, but I loved an anti-hero like that. I've talked so much about the 60s movies and the anti-heroes of the 60s, where your hero was not such a good guy. Most notably, Clint Eastwood in the Dollars trilogy. He was amoral. He's in it for himself primarily, but he would inadvertently save other people and do the right thing and be the guy that you're rooting for him. But in reality, he's not a good guy at all. And that was the change, that was the catalyst. So in the 70s, then you get the Dirty Harry, who is the hero, the good guy, but he's hard line. And well, I grew up with Big Kilt Papa, my dad. He was right fucking, hard line, and guns, hunting. He tries to get me into hunting. That did not work. I don't like hunting at all. Hunt with a camera. Don't hunt with a gun. Unless what you're hunting, you have to live off that to survive. There's no reason to go and kill another living creature unless you need to do it. Absolutely need to do it. And I've said this all my time, but I did hunt, but it took me hunting to realise why that was wrong. For fun or for sport or for trophies, that's what I absolutely abhor. Survival, that's the nature of the beast. But I grew up with that environment. So these movies, even my dad sitting and watching Lethal Weapon with my dad loved it. I bought 2 copies of the movie. There's the old Betamax copy. Lethal Weapon. I bought 2, day one. In fact, I got it before the actual release date. I bought 2. Why did I buy 2? Because I knew I would wear out one by watching it over and over and over again. That's me doing the spools. They should be going that way, shouldn't they? So I bought 2. Even dealer price. This is before proper sell-through. You could buy X rentals, but you couldn't buy sell-through tapes at that time. But they were about £45 UK English pounds at the time. And I bought 2, and I was doing YTS at the time. I was a YTS landscape gardener. Power tools, hedge trimmers, mowing machine, and a fucking chainsaw up 60-foot tall conifers on the cliff at Frodsham. I did a video on this. Totally illegal at the time to send someone up there who was only 16 years old with a fucking chainsaw. 60-foot trees, and how many did they have? Ooh, I think it was 40 to 80. I don't know, I've split the difference then. Like 40, maybe 60 conifers, big conifers, and I got sent up there with a chainsaw at the age of 16. That was illegal. I hadn't been trained on it at all, and it terrified the hell out of me. On a ramshackle, Jimmy built fucking harness to get up there, and my boss, Ted Noonan, the infamous Ted Noonan, is sitting at the bottom of the tree. Each tree that we did, looking bifters, you know what bifters are now. A few cans, didn't give a shit. He was too old for that shit. Well, folks, I've waffled on a lot about like Lethal Weapon 5. What it should be, what it can't be, what it could be, what it won't be, what will it be? Who knows? And I've gone round the houses about everything else as well. Good luck to those of you that stayed with this. But as I always say, you know, the whole point of these videos is like you sit and have a drink. And once you know what you're getting, and you click on one of my videos, oh, it's Kilt-Man. Oh, right. Before I press play, let me get a few bevies out, and I'll just sit down, put my feet up, kick the family out the room, or bring the family in. Again, like Lethal Weapon, F-bombs, violence, headshots, all sorts of stuff. But the family sit there and they're like, oh, what a laugh and joke. That's the whole point of these videos. It's to embrace everybody, but it's just having fun. Like we're having a natter, like you, me. Not so much you, because you, last time you cut to the bone. You know, there was no need for that. But I still love you. That's what it's all about, just having fun. I just fly by the seat of me kilt. Kilt, you say? What kilt are we wearing today? It's the Hunting McLeod. Yes. And a good t-shirt as well. Snake Plissken. Slag. Ox Baker. It's the fight, the smackdown between Snake and Slag with baseball bats, and then spiked baseball bats. Escape from New York. Still the greatest. So, folks, anyway, look. It is what it is. And I love what it is. Lethal Weapon 5. Do we want it? Do we need it? Are they too old for it? The magic of cinema can make them look a lot younger. Stuntmen will take over. But a serious version, the two of them, ruining the days. Let's take out all the fucking stupid shtick. Get rid of all that. Have a bit of banter maybe, but don't have the comedy elements to it. Make it serious, make it older, and how these guys would actually respond to something which is impacting them. There's a threat out there. How are we going to deal with it at our age now? Can we fall back on anyone else? Can anyone else help us? Where's the families? Got to look after them. Keep it smaller. Don't have fucking surfboards going through someone's head. Don't do that shit, like, you know. LA has a subway, you know. Don't and stop that. Don't have Gibson running. If you have him running again, have him running and like slowing down and like having to stop and think about it, like, oh, I can't do this. But don't do it jokey. Just do it like, I can't catch the guy. We've got to think around this. How are we going to catch him? Doesn't sound very exciting, does it? But I want it to be a bit more real, and a lot more serious. Take it darker. Take it more tragic if necessary. I'm not saying, oh, let Danny Glover die. Not Danny Glover. Roger Murtaugh die. I'm not saying that at all. Or Gibbo die as well. I'm not saying that. Butch and Sundance, they come running out into like a whole host of a gazillion Bolivian gunfire. No, I'm not saying that at all. But have it very poignant about those two characters and like what their life has led up to. We've had half them. It's been a life of peace since Lethal Weapon 4. We've all got over injuries. We've got families. We've got grandkids, and we got this, that, and the other. And fucking Leo Getz is still there. Oh, I know. But and then suddenly they're brought back into something. I don't know. It's Hollywood, mate. They'll do whatever they fucking want. And Gibbo may have to like just rein back on what he might want to do and do what they want him to do. But it could be his shoe in. But I don't think Gibson wants to do that. Gibson wants to play this character again and work with these people again. But I don't think he wants. He's massively denounced Hollywood and all its dark practices. Folks, I have been or shall be Kilt-Man. Please, in the meantime, and it's ever, we're all too old for this shit in between time. Please keep it Celtic, and I'm going to see you all. I'm trying to think of a good quote to end it out with, but all I can think of is Riggs, son of a bitch. Come on, Roger. Let's do it one shepherd to the other shepherd. That's that. Let's get the flock out of here.